everybody. I hope you're doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. We mix it up here on this channel a little bit, some politics, some personal growth, everything around tarot. That's my jam, tarot and oracle. So today I am on here to do a reading about some astrological events we've got coming up that I think are going to really give us a lot of relief, you all. We've got Mercury going direct on April. I'm taping this on the 26th. I think it goes full direct tomorrow. We remember there's those cautionary tales about it still has that shadow period, so things may still feel a little slow, feel like, a little sluggish, like you're not quite making the progress, or you could be a little, thinking about it one way and then thinking about it another, sort of that mercurial, thing going on in your mind with making decisions and choices and feeling like you're moving ahead. However, Mercury, when it goes direct, is direct until August. I think it's August 5th. So that gives us a nice stretch of time to feel like we've got forward momentum, to feel like we've got more clarity around the choices that we're making, the actions that we're taking or that we need to take, right? So that's a lot to think about. But added to that, and one reason why I got pumped up and wanted to get on here and do this reading for you all today is on the 29th of April, we have Venus in Taurus until May 15. What's cool about that is Venus is perfectly at home in Taurus, right? It's ruling planet. So that's where, think about, Spirit gave me, think about coming home after a really long vacation or something, right? It's not that you didn't have a good time and you went out and you explored and you had an adventure, but there's just nothing like coming home and getting in your own bed, clean sheets, all of that. So Venus in Taurus, that sort of energy, thinking about the things that we value, and the between when she goes into Taurus on the 29th until May 15th and a little bit beyond that, thinking about matters of what we value, thinking about our finances. I put some notes here. Our finances, improved money, opportunities that may come to us to make a little more ka-ching, ka-ching, our talent and our self-worth, because we know that Taurus is definitely about, and Venus is about what we value. It is about luxury, but it means luxury in terms of how things make us feel. It doesn't mean luxury in the commercial sense that we talk about it. Everything's got to be a Hermes bag or a BMW, nothing. It's more about what makes us feel luxurious. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich can make you feel luxurious if you're doing it at home in your PJs, with a nice cup of coffee or tea, and you're just feeling really comfortable. That's a sense of luxury. So think about that as well. And also indulgence and pampering, because talking about PJs, sitting home chilling, because Taurus and Venus in Taurus is very much around allowing those indulgences, recognizing that you do deserve to be pampered, and that with Mercury going direct, that's sort of giving yourself self-care, self-love, permission to move about, permission to enjoy life and enjoy things that you've wanted. That actually can work in your favor and move you ahead. Also added to that mix, we have on the 30th, so that's on April 29th, that Venus goes into Taurus. Very next day, we have Mars going into Aries. It's at home there. That's where it's at home, right? Aries is ruled by Mars. Now there we have an energy. Mars, we know, is that planet of go get it, like make it happen, like fiery leadership, gotta do it. Sometimes a warning of aggression if we get too carried away with ourselves. But I think some of this other energy we're dealing with, this Venus in Taurus, and again with Mercury going direct, I think our thinking is going to be a little more rational, a little clearer. We're going to be able to literally see a way forward instead of feeling like we're stuck or being confused and unable to make decisions, which is very often what can happen when we're in a Mercury retrograde phase, all right? Technology, thinking about the things that the way we are communicating, what we're putting out into the universe on social media, Being very intentional about that, and especially with that Mars and Aries at the same time that we've got Venus and Taurus. So yes, Mars and Aries says yes, put it out there, go, get ready, do your thing, make your announcements, get busy, apply for the job, start your own business, take the workshops, get it going, get your engines going, especially while Mercury is direct to August, right? But this Venus and Taurus is also saying, do it pretty. Do it in a way that expresses your true values, that is going to be value added, not just spouting off, for instance, on social media because there's something trending or whatever, but doing it in a way that it really reflects who you are, and it reflects your values. It reflects something that is that adds beauty to the world. There is a tremendous divine feminine component, of course, to Venus, right? Contrasted with a divine masculine component to Mars. So think about that yin yang in the coming months, you all. Think about that balance that we can strike in our lives between those two forces. Go get it, but make it count. Make it be of value, make it be of substance, make it be something that as you make these moves and these decisions, you can really be proud. All right. So having said that, I'm going to do a general reading now. This won't be a pick a card. This will be a general reading around this energy, how you can take advantage of it, how messages around both what you value, how you can feel good about what you have in your life, have a little more prosperity, feeling really solid in your decisions, knowing that I did a post in my community tab, if you want to look. I did a post this morning, beautiful image that I found online of a woman lighting a candle with a clear path going way off in the distance in front of her. And I made a post about lighting, us all being a light for one another and shining the light for one another so we can continue on our path. That path being more clear now with Mercury going direct through August. So these next months, as we get deep into summer, you all, this is go time. But I feel like with this Venus in Taurus, it's go time with a purpose. It's go time with value added. It's go time so that when you look back, when Mercury goes retrograde again in August, you'll be able to say, but this is what I accomplished. This is what's solid. This is what I know that I have. All right. Okay, so let's see what Spirit says. Spirit, how to take advantage most of these transits so that we can get the most forward momentum, progress, healing, manifestation, all of the things that we're working toward. How, getting that forward momentum, how does that occur? How does that happen? We have death. Interesting, first out the deck. And actually, that doesn't make me flinch because I think what it's saying here with death, you all, is this is serious transformation, and it is the end of a period of feeling stalled out. Again, thinking about Mercury going direct, I think for some of us, this is the end of a period where you have felt the need to transform, but maybe you weren't quite sure what to do. What workshop do I take? What avenue do I take? How are things going to open up for me? There's a major there's something that is coming toward you around this where you have that opening, that reckoning, that understanding. This is how I want to move. Remembering too that we were talking about Mars and Aries. Mars is a co-ruler of Scorpio, which rules the death card. All right, so there's Mars energy in there, but it is sometimes instead of Mars energy in Scorpio in terms of what you do externally to affect these changes, some of you could be really going through making some decisions, very personal decisions for yourself that are transformational. That's how that feels to me. All right, we have the Ten of Wands. I'll show it to you in a moment. We have the Ten of Wands, the Page of Wands, all that fire, Mars in Aries coming out, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Coins. Perfect. All of this energy that a lot of you have been putting out around staying on top of things, around being responsible with your budget, thinking about the changes that you want to make. Even if money is flowing really well for you, you may have been thinking about ways to make sure that it goes the distance, that you get the most out of it, that you are investing wisely, that you're making wise choices. And while, especially most recently with these eclipses and Mercury in retrograde, could have felt like, whoa, for every bit of momentum I feel like I've got going forward, I feel stuck because there's that Five of Coins. And the Five of Coins very often can be a card of restriction around what you are able to accomplish, both on your own, in your health, in your finances, and even in your love life, in your connections with family, etc. So that's this death. That's what's coming to an end. If you've been feeling sort of mired in, I am doing everything I know how to do. I'm trying to, I'm trying, Spirit, I'm trying. And feeling like there's still something missing, or things aren't lining up quite the way that they need to, that is what is about to change with all of this forward momentum. There's the Knight of Swords. So there's movement in your thought, and the Six of Wands. Thank you so much, Spirit. This is information that's coming your way, conversations that you will have, decisions and clarity in your own knowing and intuition that is going to say, here's the way to go. Aha, I finally get it now. There's movement after a period of stagnation, and it's leading you to that victory. We have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is a card of victory. It is a card of momentum gained after a period of stagnation, or after having to regroup and figure out, this is the way that I need to go at it to get what I want, right? Because again, that decision making was hard with all of the changes that have been going on around us, all of these astrological changes, all of the eclipses, everything that's going on in the world around us. It can sort of make us feel restricted. It's almost like we find our power, or we feel like there is, we protect our power, we protect what we have, we get that comfort level by erecting these little gates around us, because we can't control what's happening in the world, but here's this piece that I can control. But what that does is it keeps you within the confines of that, and Spirit is saying, no, right now it's time for you to get ready to hop over that fence, or tear that fence down, because it's going to be safe for you to move on. I feel like I want to pull a couple of oracles for you. Spirit, there's a message around highlighting this forward momentum that we see after a period of stagnation, a period of feeling limited, a period of feeling unclear, uncertain. We have celebrate you. Take yourself out on a date, treat yourself to a massage, take time to enjoy your own company. If that ain't Venus and Taurus energy, I don't know what is, you all, right? We were talking about that pampering, that self-love, and that self-care. So that's what's happening here. Is Spirit is saying there's a window opening. That's what they're showing me. There's a window opening where you will have the ability to see the road ahead of you. Not just ask for it to be open, not just wonder, where do I go from here? But you're going to see the road ahead of you, and you're going to be in gear, ready to drive down it. Celebrate you. Take yourself out on a date, right? Pamper yourself. We also have trust the wait. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. Embrace the uncertainty. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. You are transforming. Remember, we got that death card, and we talked about transformation, right? There you have it. Confirmation. So, and worth the wait. So this, again, going back to Mercury retrograde. So if things have felt slower, if things, despite some of your best efforts, if you've had to go back and redo, or you haven't quite made as much progress as you wanted, if some of you are dealing with health issues, and perhaps the healing process or getting to the root of it is taking longer than expected, that energy is shifting. That's what a part of what in these next months between now and August, that's what you're going to see shifting. And it's also saying, though, that part about embracing the uncertainty, because when nothing is certain, anything is possible. So they're saying, basically, the message here is, Spirit is saying, don't let yourself get frustrated, because when you on those days that you don't necessarily have all the answers and all the clarity, because that's part of the magic. That's part of the momentum that you're gaining is when you reach that point of letting go of those corners and saying, no, I don't have control. It allows the universe to then enter your life and say, yes, that's true, because guess what? It's bigger than you ever thought. More is possible. More is possible. All right? I want to give you, they're telling me go to another deck and get a few more cards for you. All right. When they speak, I listen. All right, Spirit, what other messages do you have around these transits that are happening? Mercury going direct, Venus in her natural Taurus, and Aries in natural Mars in Aries. We have the Eight of Cups. Death again. Can you believe it? Different deck. There we go. You know how we are about our confirmations. All right, so we have it. And also, thinking about this, they just told me, death rules the 8th house, right? 8th house having to do with mysteries, having to do with death itself, taxes, finances, other people's money, inheritances. To the extent that you have been dealing with some financial stuff, we've got the 8 of Cups. 8th house, 8 of Cups. You could be ready to literally walk away from a situation that has been wearing you down. Where if you didn't have control, if you didn't have the answers, if you felt like you've sort of exhausted all possibilities around what you personally could do about it, then that's a part of what this death is about. And that 8 of Cups saying it's okay, because you've reached a natural point. It's not like you got pushed, but you reached a natural point where you're ready to move on. Okay. It's a beautiful confirmation. These next months are definitely ushering you into a place of where you have released something that needed to really, really be let go. Whether it was holding on to a way of life, holding on to a relationship, holding on to a friendship, family situations, dynamics, feeling resistant, wanting to heal, but also being kind of resistant to it because maybe you just didn't know how. All of that sort of stuff is being cleared up. As I said, cleared up, I just pulled the 4 of Swords, a card of clarity and a card of taking a rest so that you can get the clarity, not feeling like you have to push too far ahead to get it, all right? It's not all on you. That's what Spirit is saying here. And you've got the Moon, because as you rest to get that clarity, then your intuition can kick in. And then you can feel more clear. That's what the Moon does. The Moon eliminates in the darkness. The Moon shines a light in the darkness, right? There is a lot coming to light for you all, and and what it's doing is, rather than being shocking or just adding more fuel to some sort of distraction, it's really giving you clarity about exactly what steps you need to take to move forward, and those steps are leading you to a lot of healing and a lot of self-recognition, a lot of appreciation for yourself and what you have, a lot of gratitude around that. Some of you, 6 of Swords, definitely figuring it out so that you can move forward, and you are so ready for that. You are so ready for it because you've been working hard. Knight of Swords. We had that in the other deck as well, so here's another repeat. There are, for many of you, that way forward is sit down and write it out for yourselves. Communication is going to be, and by communication, communicating with Spirit, saying your prayers, repeating your affirmations, changing your affirmations. If the same ones haven't been getting you exactly what you wanted, or you don't see that momentum, then maybe it's time to change up that speech a little bit, rework it a little bit, use that death energy to rebirth, because ultimately that's what death is always leading to, is a form of rebirth, to rebirth and do something new. Change the way you do your affirmations. Change, maybe instead of speaking it, you do signage, or you find images or artwork. You'll know, but think about ways to switch it up so that you can pull that energy in a different direction and make it feel more dynamic, that Mars and Aries, okay? All right. Now, finally, I wanted to share with you all some crystals that they drew me to say might help you during this time. In regards to Venus in Taurus, I pulled Amazonite, and it says personal truths. Because part of this phase or time of life, stage of life that many of you are going through, it really is about acknowledging and owning your truth. We've seen a lot of things online about that lately, especially with astrological transits, that it is about coming to a level of being comfortable with your personal truth and not feeling like it means that automatically you got to be in opposition to somebody else or causes conflict. There's a lot happening in the world right now, you all, where we're being made to feel that if we speak up, if we speak our minds, if we hold true to our personal truths, that it gets us in trouble. Look at what's happening with all of the kids on college campus. Kids, I'm showing my age, but the young people on college campuses around, the war protests, right? And here they are speaking their truths, and then being punished for it. So that kind of feeling, that's going away, where the trepidation around what happens in the event that that you stand up for your truth, that amazonite will help you. Kyanite, I know those of us who are into crystals, that's also one of our favorites, because it's just a natural, steady cleanser. It is, it says here, inner bridges. It helps us really deal with both positive and negative emotions and emotional states, and it cleanses all of that, and it gets us really, it's a great energy for equilibrium, for helping us understand light and dark, hot and cold, me and you, that sort of, those what could be polarizing things. Selenite is a beautiful energy to help you understand how things, where's the commonality, how can things work together. Beautiful energy there. And I also pulled chrysocolla, and it says sacred sounds. So some of you might want to, in this Venus and Taurus energy, some of you might want to get your groove on, right? Listen to your music. Now, of course, I automatically went, former 70s, 80s party girl. I went to the dancing aspect of it. But for some of you, this could even be healing frequencies. This could be sound baths and that sort of thing, more reflective, more meditative. But for others, it may be about put your headphones on, put your yoga clothes on or your sweatpants on, and move it around, shake it up a little bit, all right? That's going to be really good for you with that Venus and Taurus energy. Going into the Aries and Mars energy, we got ourselves some sunstone with leadership. And I think this is both, if you are in business or considering a business or in your workplace, this is around leadership. This is around the possibility of promotion, moving things around, but it is also around personal responsibility, owning your own path forward. Mercury going direct. Owning your own decisions, standing behind them, standing firmly behind them, and taking leadership to co-lead with spirit your life, all right? I got rhodonite, your talents, it says. And that is, we think about rhodonite. In fact, I think I'm wearing some. We think about rhodonite as a lovey-dovey stone. It is a stone that's really good for healing childhood trauma, for dealing with self-love and self-pampering and all of that. But notice it comes as a fire card. You see the fiery elements on the side there. And I think what it's saying, and I pulled this in relation to Mars and Aries, is there's an ability that you have to appreciate your talents, not just recognize them, but to really appreciate them, to understand that you were born with this in your own unique way. I'll use myself as an example. I'm a tarot reader, right? That's not all that I am, but it's something that I do, I enjoy, I love. I've done it for so many years, and I hope to do it for many, many more. But the time that I have to take sometimes to stop and say, this is not just a service that I provide. It's not just a calling that I have. It's a privilege. It is a talent. It is a privilege. And I'm really, really grateful for it. You know what I mean? So take time to do that in your way with your different things. It could be you're a great cook, or you're a great counselor. You're a great friend. You're a great pet owner. You're a great parent. You're a great artist. Whatever it is that you do, appreciating your talents even as you share them. And my final card that I got was Malachite. And Malachite, and it says willpower, will. And that's a really cool energy that goes with Mars and Aries as well, because for most of what we do, especially when we start talking about manifestation, magic, setting our intentions, being focused, doing our new moon rituals. When it's not just about wishing something or visualizing something, but it is also having the will and the courage to see it through, to put it in motion, to put your muscle behind it. And even when things may be moving slower than you thought, or you're not getting quite the clarity or the answers that you thought you were going to get, it is still having that will to move forward, that will to say, I trust that it will be so. That spirit's time, we know they move on a different clock. They're not on our little clock. So we have to be aware of that, conscious of that, and understand. It goes back to when we were talking about control, but our ideas around control and our appreciation for control, I think that's part of what's shifting in this next few months, because it's not about being able to put literally put things, here's this and here's that and here's this. Like, it's not about the fence that we talked about earlier, building our little comfortable space, in our little fence where this is our domain and here's what I can control. But it's understanding that ultimately, as long as we open ourselves to being in alignment with our plan, our purpose, our higher plans, our desires, our joy and our happiness, and not will, that will card, not letting our feeling about that get tainted or changed by virtue of what happens around us. There's a steadfastness to this energy, right? Especially Venus in Taurus. Taurus being, fixed, steadfast. Mars in Aries saying, okay, now that we're steadfast, now that we got it on lock, let's move ahead with it. All right? I hope that was helpful for you all. I wanted to keep this short. I just was feeling it when I sat down this morning and was doing some studies on astrology and saw these transits. I thought, whoa, this is something that we all need, because we have felt, I think, many of us have felt anxious and overwhelmed even by so many of the transits that are happening. But this area right here seems to really be pushing us and galvanizing us into a fresh way. And it's bringing of doing things. And it's bringing an end to a lot of that fear, a lot of what's kept us trapped and what's kept us behind. Remember those stones that I showed you, okay? That'll definitely be helpful for you, all right? Take good care of yourself. I'll talk to you real soon.